So one time we go to the pastor and like my mom's like, yeah, he's been having recent pains. Mind you, I've been lying about this whole time. And the pastor was like, yeah. The boy's family's trying to take his future. I'm in the back like, 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 I remember he had his hand on me praying, and I was bonding to for a second, like 50 seconds, and I'm like, wait a minute, I just lied about this whole thing. So what are you seeing and telling us about this? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 43 of the O2 podcast. How you guys' week's been?
It's all right. Not too shabby. I just did absolutely nothing.
Any new?
How was Thanksgiving? How was everyone's Thanksgiving?
That was pretty good. I just ate Domino's.
It was good. I got invited to a Ghanaian hosted Thanksgiving at somebody's house like 30 minutes away. We went there. We ate.
How'd you
gave
meet
some things.
Ghanaians in the location you're at?
I went to
Madison. It's kind of like
I went to
nowhere.
there's this restaurant that's like Ghanaian. It's an African restaurant owned by Ghanaians. And when my sister came, she took me there, and then I went there by myself like 2 times after. And then the owner was like, "Oh, like you're Ghanaian," and it was like got my number. Like they have like a Ghanaian like it's called Gama, which is like Ghanaians of Madison. They have like an association with like mad people. They put me in there. They took me to church, and I know like a handful of people. So it's not that bad. Good week other than the snow. Good week, but today
What kind of snow?
we had like a foot of snow today. Oh my God.
I see.
And
Went over your head.
He's saying that because what's it called? He lives in a warm climate and he doesn't have to deal with that.
No,
That's not what he said.
I'm
That's not what
He's
he
talking
said.
about a different type of snow.
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
But
Usually
I'm
he's
not going.
in
Snow
snow,
comes in
if
all
you get what I
different types
mean.
of flavors.
I'm not gonna entertain this conversation. You know, we have a good episode for you guys. I feel like we're gonna have some good discussions from this, enlighten each other. So I'm like, I had a story, but this is not it is not a camera kind of story, so I'll skip that. But I have 6 hot takes, right? We're gonna title the segment the O2 hot take. I'm gonna read a statement and you're either gonna agree or disagree. And there's 3 of you guys, so one of you 3 is gonna have to explain your reasoning. Not all of you guys, but each one is a different one. I have 6, so each one's gonna go twice, and then we'll delve into it quickly.
Before we begin, can we have a moment of silence for my headphones?
What happened to it?
He's retired. He's not a helicopter operator anymore. I'm sorry.
Thank you guys for your silence. Let's proceed.
Thank you. Okay, so I have some hot takes here, and again, agree or disagree, and then whoever wants to chime in, you each have to chime in twice and just give your reasoning, and we just keep it going, right? So today's topic is just based on sense of religion, right? First hot take is religion is becoming a lifestyle brand more than a belief system.
Not a hot take.
No, just agree or
Not a hot
disagree.
take.
Agree.
Okay. Would anyone like to explain why they say either agree or disagree?
I mean, I feel like a lot of people, honestly, we live in a time where like people want to show more than be, in a sense. And it's like you ever made a person who all they do is talk about one certain thing online and stuff like that, and when you meet them, they're not really about it. Like for example, I live up in, for example, being up here, being upstate, everybody they live and die by the fucking bills. Quasi, you know this already. Like they live and die by the fucking bills. You can't go anywhere without them talking about the bills. They shove that shit down your fucking throat. And I'm like, bro, I don't give a fuck about the bills. Like, stop talking to me about the bills. But the thing is, I used to watch football a lot when I was younger. So like, I know a lot about some of the Buffalo Bills players. They'll be like, oh yeah, I'm a Bills fan. Whoop, 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 whoop. And I'll just be like, you remember when Marshawn Lynch used to play for Buffalo Bills? They'd be like, who? I'm like, exactly. You see? But it's one of those things where a lot of people, they just get on the bandwagon of this is what we're doing. This is what a lot of people do. And when you really ask them about it, they have no fucking clue. Simply because it's something that they just talk about or do just so that they can fit in with a crowd or look like a certain way, in a sense, you know? But I feel like a lot of our generation, I feel like that's our biggest problem. Making ourselves seem like we're a certain way. When you meet them, you're just like, you're not like that in real life, you know? A perfect example. Oh my God, I used to think about this so much. When I was in high school, majority of the people in my high school were the biggest, fakest fucking, care about every fucking issue going on in the damn world. Like they would be like, oh my God, gun violence, doing this and this and that. Sit it from your fucking phone and just text it away. I ain't see you with no protests. You ain't donating nothing. You ain't on front line of everything. But I'll never forget this. They had a protest outside my school. I forgot what the protest was. And I was like, they were like, oh, we can go. I was like, yeah, I'm not going. They're like, why not? Why not? I'm like, I don't care. I'm not going. I'm like, listen, I'm not just going with the crowd because I'm like, this is not an issue that I've ever paid attention to, and not because I don't care, but it's I've never fully paid attention to it. And you bring it up to me, honestly, I really still don't care, you know. But it's like it's one of those things. I'm like, one, this is the first time you've ever showed up to this protest because they're doing it as a school event. You've never went out your way to personally go out and make this change. It's easy to conveniently text, make a post. Oh man, you know what? Free Palestine. Okay, cool. Did you donate? Are you doing something that actually matters? I'm not talking about you, Shakir. Don't take this thing. But I'm like, are you doing something that matters? Because at the end of the day,
No.
What have you done for Palestine, Shakir?
weapon, like at the end of the day, are you doing something that matters? I'm like, I don't talk about things that I'm not doing because I'm not there. Like I'm not sitting there physically. Like when people be like, I don't talk about politics because one, I'm not educated enough. So when people talk about Trump or Biden, whoop, I'm like, bro, I don't pay attention enough for me to get up.
Bro, what was the hot take? I feel like you went on a big
tangent. I was just giving an example of like how our times, in a sense, a lot of people
The hot take was religion is becoming more of a lifestyle brand than a belief system.
Yeah.
And he was talking about more about how people are becoming more
performative.
like lifestyle
I
brand.
feel like that's our biggest generation. That's our biggest problem. They're just performative in what's hot right now. What are people doing? What are people talking about? And they just go along with it when they're not really doing anything that actually matters. There's a difference between talking about. Doing is more important than just talking. Everybody fucking talk. Doing, you know?
All right. The second hot take. Most people pray for things they're not willing to work for.
Agree.
Yeah.
Shakir Kwazi, one of you has to expand on that.
It's in the statement.
I mean,
But like
I feel like
example where you see like something, curate something, some sort of evidence to back up why you said agree.
I mean, I feel like a lot of it depends on case by case basis, but I feel like a lot of people are like, "Oh, I wish I was making more money. I wish I was doing this. I wish I was doing that." But then you're not actually like putting forth the effort of making those changes in your life, you know? Yeah.
Third hot take, and Kwazi, you're gonna have to expand on this. People search for God. We're going in a circle, brother. Come on. People search for God most when their life collapses, not when it's calm.
I mean, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I think like honestly that like Shakir said, it's a case by case basis, but primarily don't really think about praying to God when life is going by smoothly because you're so busy enjoying what's going on. But then the moment something is going wrong or you want something else to happen, you start praying to God, ask to Him. But you know, you don't really think to go pray and thank God for what you have in your current position.
Most believers don't worship God. They worship their lifestyle and call it faith.
No,
Yes.
I disagree.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wait, say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
Most believers don't worship God. They worship the lifestyle and call it faith.
Agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Why do you disagree?
I think
Yeah, because you're the only one that disagreed.
no, because the reason I agree, it kind of connects back to the last point where you said that like we all agreed that people are more likely to reach out for God when they're struggling versus when they're doing good, which obviously means that you're doing it for a selfish reason where you're noticing something wrong in your life and you're trying to get out of that. So it's not really like pray. I don't think it's exactly like, oh, I'm praying to God because it's just God, it's a higher being and I'm supposed to like submit to it. It's more because of like what can I benefit from doing so.
But at the end of the day, it's a pretty big planet. And when we're talking about religion, I'm thinking of all religions as a whole.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
to be fair, I can't speak for other people, but I've seen people that are devout Christians. And when you say lifestyle, are you talking about the Christian lifestyle in general? Because at the end of the day, there are people that go to religion to glamorize themselves or for an end goal and end benefit. Which at the end of the day, like all religion is for an end goal and benefit. You know what I mean? Like you're doing it for a reason.
Here's the thing though, this is
So
like
like when you say glamorize a lifestyle, I don't fully follow what kind of lifestyle, but I think it depends on the person, depends on the people. I can't say I actually agree with that statement.
Good. And don't worry, when we get into the spillers corner, we're gonna have time to, debate go back and forth. the fifth one, if heaven didn't exist, this is piggybacking off of your point. If heaven didn't exist, people wouldn't be as religious as they are now.
I
Well,
mean,
there's still hell.
that kind of like assumes that heaven exists.
Yeah,
like,
and also it
religions-
kind of keeps out every
religions-
other religion besides Christianity.
Abraham,
I mean,
besides Abrahamic religions.
But in this case, it's like if you're diversifying into other religions, just thinking about more of like getting the better end of like an afterlife. So if I had to like face the question, it's like the idea of having a better afterlife. If that idea didn't exist, we wouldn't have as many religious people.
I mean, it depends because like for example, like Buddhism or Hinduism, they don't have an afterlife.
yeah, I disagree.
Yeah.
That question was more geared towards like
But if it is towards just Abrahamic religion, so like Christians, Jews, Muslims, then I would say yeah, definitely.
Okay. The real in the modern era, the real new religion is whatever gives people the most validation.
in the modern era, the real new religion.
I don't get that.
What?
In the sense like that new idea of what religion is like people navigate towards whichever their idea of religion is whatever gives them the most validation.
I think that's all.
That's
I
a
think
weak
to a degree that's always been the case. Like I
Yeah,
don't think it's a modern
weak
problem.
statement. Next one.
Okay, that was all six of them. But and the reason I asked this question is because I watched I think two things Matthew McConaughey was in very well. So I linked it, but obviously nobody watched it. But there was a segment in there where
What?
I like linked. They're not as intellectual as I am
You don't think we watched it?
because I linked
Did you
it.
watch
and
it, Quali?
Yes, I actually saw the video because he put a timestamp and I went to the timestamp to listen to him talk.
I didn't watch
What
it.
What did Matthew McConaughey
Like, he
say?
wants to come out here and say I didn't listen to it.
What did McConaughey say?
Well, he was talking about how. Damn, I gotta remember. I actually watched it. No. Like in all business, I actually watched it. He
Niggas la.
he was talking about how like he he has friends all over the world and something like across that line. I don't remember specifically what he said, but I actually watched the video.
Okay.
Like friends in Mali, and
I
he doesn't fully believe in the religion, but
I
like there
apologize.
are things where he actually holds dear.
I apologize. See, that is actually what he talked about. So he was two different parts. I didn't share the second one, but as he was talking about it, like the concept of religion came up, and I remember in one of our episodes, it was just me and Quasi. There was one episode we did where it was just me and you, and we kind of talked about our relationship with religion and stuff. So I thought we could create another episode and kind of delve into more of like what modern day religion is. So, like in summary, he talked about how religion, the new age of like religion, has become more of like a way for people to like. It's like, look at what I'm doing. The idea of like putting themselves above other people, right? And we've known a lot of people. I've met a bunch of different people where it's like they post about religion, they do all this other stuff, but it's like in the Ebro Brothers part of earlier, it's like, are you really about what you post you're about? Right. And a classic example of this, I don't know if you guys have figured this out. There's this lady that did an experiment on TikTok where she called different churches and tried to get them to buy her baby formula. And a vast majority of these churches said no. And it was like, it begged the question at this point, if the church isn't willing to help people, what purpose does the church really serve? So I'll give a quick little story time. By the time I realized that this religious stuff is not as black and white as it says it was going to be. When I was in Ghana, again, after we talked about how, we have these prophets that like, there's prophets in Ghana, and these prophets kind of like this, it's always a leading pastor who has this divine, he just has this divine intervention to get closer to God, where he like can see stuff, he can predict stuff, he can tell you what's going on in your life, pray for you, and basically just like the biblical version of like Daniel and these prophets, like in real life in our faces. And we'd go there, and usually I've seen some crazy stuff where it's like we'd be in there and the pastor will put his hand on the person, and then the witch will manifest in this person. So the witch's spirit is in this person, and they're fully blown having a conversation, and the whole congregation we're just here doing it, right? This one time I was like, this doesn't make any sense. So, but I never can find like concrete evidence to explain why it is I don't believe in this until this one day. I remember like towards when I was like young, like earlier, I used to have a lot of stomach pains, right? I don't know why they came about, but I used to have a lot of it. And my mom, every time something goes wrong, it has some spiritual meaning to it. So she had to go to the pastor, right? I had stomach pains realistically about twice, right? All the other like 50 times I lied about, like completely lied about, like that was just to get attention. I knew this. I'm fully aware of this. So one time we go to the pastor, and like my mom's like, yeah, he's been having recent pains. Mind you, I've been lying about this whole time. And the pastor was like, yeah. The boy's family's trying to take his future. I'm in the back like, like like, I remember he had his hand on me praying, and I was binding to for a second, like 50 seconds, and I'm like, wait a minute, I just lied
I've been
about this whole
lying.
thing. So what are you seeing and telling us about this? He lost credibility all in that moment. But in my head, I'm just
Wait,
like, what's
Clever,
up?
didn't your mom like talk to a pastor when you guys were buying a house?
Dog. Like that's what I'm saying is like my
Did
mom
they
is
get the house?
my mom is a different my mom is like a different story. But it's moments like that where I'm just like, it's always my biggest question has always been, how is there like, is there a way to, like, first of all, the new age religion, what I personally don't like is that
What is
people,
the new age of
that's
religion?
what I'm saying
Yeah,
is that,
define that.
like, or the idea when I think about new age religion is that, like, with social media and the new age of technology, it's become like a wavy, trendy lifestyle. Like, I've seen people who, like, and don't get me wrong, I fully believe in change, but it's like I see you doing X, Y, and Z, all these things that are not necessarily quote unquote in line with the religious lifestyle. And it's like in a flip of a switch, they change completely. And it's
I,
like,
I get what you're saying. Like my thing is with that, I feel like it's one of those things because I feel like if you're saying you're religious, there's certain things you just got to be like, I can't do that no more because God said no. You know what I mean? But it's like every weekend, every Saturday, you in the club, busting ass, drinking, smoking, all of that shit, and then you want to get on the internet and be like, "Oh my God, like God is." There's a difference between I'm struggling with this substance, and honestly, I've tried so hard, and sometimes there's an urge. But it's like a no. I get up and I go ahead and I drink and I smoke and I do all of these things, and then get up and tell myself, oh man, like what's it called? Like, oh, I'm you guys, I'm this, and that in sense. But like be like, oh, I'm struggling with that. Bro, you got in your car and drove to the club. There's not like you know what I mean? You got in your car and drove to the weed man. These are not things, there's a difference between I'm struggling with it versus I do this every fucking week in a sense. And I feel like what a lot of new age, honestly, there's the I'm this, but I don't really obey God. And honestly, even that with me sometimes is like I gotta learn how to be more of you gotta obey. It's not like a oh man, like I don't really want to do that. Actually, let me just keep going. It's a if I believe in God, that means I obey what He says. You know what
yeah,
I mean? And I feel like with our generation, we tinker around with that in a bit, in a
that
sense,
was
where it's like a nah, I don't
that was another point
actually
I was trying to make.
no. You know what I mean?
It's like even that, like even when that people pick and choose what part of religion that they are gonna decide to
Yeah.
participate in order to create this aesthetic of like I'm a religious person. Like I've
Mhm.
met a ton of people in my life where it's like I know who you are outside the screen. Like when we put the phone down, I know who you are. I know what you know. I know, and it's like there's even I struggle with this. I'm a very judgmental person. I would say this from the bottom of my heart. It's very hard for
Really?
me but it's like it's something I'm trying to work on, but it's very hard for me to see you and be like not because I have my own like prejudices and like stuff like that. So it's like when I see people, and it's like more importantly when I see people who've transformed into this new age religion, and it's like they start judging other people who are not on the same, like who aren't doing the same things that they're doing. It's like you have to stop doing this, you have to stop being this. Why are you doing this? Or like I've even gone as far as to hear people say, I don't hang out with this person because they indulge in this and it's indulge in this, or I don't talk to this person because of X, Y, and Z.
I mean,
Right?
that's valid. I don't disagree with that.
But it's like you can't, if you're saying you're a Christian, you believe in the Bible, we're all made in God's image, right? You shouldn't
Mhm.
treat anybody differently just because they don't indulge in the same lifestyle that you don't indulge in, right?
I don't disagree with that.
What happened?
I don't disagree with that. Like,
I mean,
Really?
you're not treating them differently. They're just
you're
staying
not
away
treating
from them.
you're not treating them differently because I feel like honestly there's certain people no I don't want you around me. I'm sorry, like
No,
I'm
it's
not even sorry. I don't want you around me.
no, but
Like
it's
because
as
it's
in
like I
not as
agree with
like
you. It's because it's like you can love a person from a distance, but at the same time we can talk, communicate. But I don't want to hang out with you every day. I don't
no, but
want
not
to.
even that. But it's like even if like for example, if somebody that you don't necessarily agree with or doesn't exactly go with your Christian idea of how a person should live,
Yeah,
ask
yeah, that, yeah,
asked you for help, you'd be
yeah,
like, no, because like you don't like
yeah,
da da da. I can't help you. That's
yeah,
not
Yeah,
not more of like,
you're not
ob-
supposed to do that.
yeah,
yeah.
obviously not choosing to hang out with somebody because they indulge in a lifestyle that you don't agree with. Apparently, 100% fine. But when it comes down to the point of like, okay, I'm not helping this person because they don't necessarily like. With the same thing about the Christian lady that asked the church for help. Like, why the church cannot sit there and say they're out of funds? That's one thing I'm not hearing. They're not.
They're not
But
like
it's like, why are we not helping them, or why is that not the case? And
So
even more so, what's up?
the worst part, one of the pastors said because she doesn't go to the church.
which is even crazy.
But decent amount of churches have church funds for people internally and a smaller fund for people external to help support people external.
Like with ideologies, honestly, that's something that I disagree with in a sense, like to a certain extent. Now, if you get up and be like, "Oh, I hate all black people," or "I'm a pure supporter of Hitler," I won't talk to you. But if you be like, "Oh, I don't believe in God," we can still be friends. Like, there's not a it's not like an end all be all of conversations in a sense. We can have disagreements and ideologies, but if you were,
But
there's a line. There's a line.
there is a line
There is a
between
line.
that.
There is a line.
Like I could only deal with so much.
Yeah, no,
That's
like,
all I can
like,
say.
listen, I'm a
Like,
pure believer of like you can believe what you believe, but don't
Yeah.
attack me for what I believe. We
same.
can have a discussion. We can have a understanding of where do you come from? Because I'm friends with an atheist. It's like, where do you think about that? Where you come from? You know what I mean? But it's like a don't ever attack me. Well, you're just stupid for believing in that. Now it's just like a no, we're not doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But that's what I'm saying.
but I would say, if you start doing some wild stuff,
What do you consider wild stuff in this situation?
sacrificing animals.
Oh,
enjoying-
like
fun,
Like,
like I get you don't believe in God, and everyone like I would judge. I would
I
say,
do.
like I wouldn't like
I judge.
I wouldn't push you to the side or like cut
Yeah,
you
but that's
off
what I'm saying.
or
It's like
anything, but
usually,
if you start doing certain things, I'm gonna cut you off.
like usually, like with me, it's like I have reached a point where it's like I I feel like I finally reached a point in my life where I can have a discussion without it having to be disrespect. Like I've reached to understand what I'm saying. My
Just
viewpoints
now,
on my
nigga.
weapon.
Just now, you can
Oh
have
yeah,
a discussion
yeah.
without disrespect.
Yeah, I know how I used to be. If you say before, like when I was in middle school, before if you did drugs and you did alcohol, you and the devil was damn near the same in my eyes. That took some convincing to get to. So it's like I've reached a point where it's like, okay, like if I say something that you disagree with, my initial reaction isn't always, oh damn, you're lost. It's always, okay, where are you coming from with your idea? Like let's see what you have to say. And usually through dissecting and hearing it, usually I'll either find a flaw or like my eyes will be open to something different. But it's like and it's been something with like I've always had this problem with like I don't like the performative aspects of religion, right? I think Ibra brought this point up. You don't say you do something unless you're about it. And usually 99% of the time, the people who usually are about it don't feel the need to speak about it. Right? If you claim you're religious and you claim you're X, Y, and Z, your actions, the way you carry yourself, I should be able to see without you ever having to tell me that's what that is that you are.
Yeah, it would definitely show.
It will show the way you
Religion
treat
is
people.
one thing that would
Yeah.
definitely show.
Yeah, the way you treat people, the way you talk. It's like you ask a Christian, how are you doing? Oh man, I'm blessed to be here today. How are you doing? Like it's the way they talk, the way they carry. Like you shouldn't have to necessarily tell me you do this to be able to do this, right? And it's like I've met people where it's like I've even met people who, like you said, your friend. I've met atheists who I think would make better Christians than the people I actually know who are definitely Christians.
Mm-hmm.
So
Like you're not wrong. Like it's,
Yeah,
it's
and I'm-
like the thing is like a lot of people are on some like they almost treat it like a team in a sense. If I'm on this team, I gotta hate this team. And it's like, no, that's not what life is. You know what I mean? And it's like a lot of people honestly, my understanding of life is there are more stupid people than smart people or who could just formulate a clear thinking. And if that makes me condescending, then so be it. Because it's the fucking truth. I'm sorry, like I feel like majority of people are just stupid and they just go with whatever the crowd tells them to, in a sense. And and I feel like it's the reality of life. You know what I mean? What can I do about it though?
yeah. So and like I guess the first question I have actually, guys, is like, do you see examples of like this idea of like the performative aspects of religion that we see in everyday like use in everyday life?
Yes, celebrity that convert to Islam or
Mhm.
the Muslim religion, and then when it doesn't work out for them, just go back to the club, Brittany Rayner.
I mean, the most performative like time for Islam I thought was like 2021, 2022.
Andrew Tate.
When all these red pillars started converting to Islam to gain credibility. And
They were?
bro,
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
Yes, they
I
were.
don't know.
y'all
were.
don't realize
Mm.
how genius that was.
Mhm.
Because I've seen the real life effects of that shit. Because here's the thing you gotta understand about them. Their target was never the average person in like Western society or America who has exposure to different like types of people and have gone through schooling and everything. Their target was like the random kid in a village in fucking Bangladesh that is already like lives in a conservative society and already has like misogynistic views and shit like that, right? So when they like claim themselves to be Muslim, it really speaks to that audience, and then they can mold them. Like then they're like, oh, he's Muslim, so he has to be a good person. So
Yes.
now all his other shit he says is also valid,
Bro.
and
it's
that
like,
was his target. And it's
bro, you're
fucking
not wrong.
genius if you think about it. It's evil,
And
but
then
it's
he started
fucking
this
genius.
school
He started the
Yes.
paid
Who
program.
do you think the people that were joining it were fucking people from like third world countries that like generally didn't have real experiences to draw on to be like this motherfucker stupid.
Bro, you're not even wrong because it's like I remember when like a lot of black Muslims and African Muslims were saying how a lot of Arabic Muslims are racist towards them. People were saying, "What? How? Islam bans racism, so they're lying." I'm like,
Is
"What?
bro? That's
Are you
like that's
okay?
like
Are you
saying,
thinking?"
bro. That's
Yeah,
like
you know
saying,
what I
oh,
mean? But like
Christianity condemns killing, so what like Christopher Columbus didn't happen.
didn't
Does that
happen.
make any fucking sense?
Does that make any sense? That's what I be telling you. Like a lot of people. That's why I'm saying a lot of people are just stupid and they don't think. It is like, oh, what? God said that's not true, so they're not racist. You're just making stuff up. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, these are real life events. But honestly, like it's a lot of it is performative in a sense because yeah, you're not wrong. Because like, what if, for example, I'll never forget one time I told some kid, I'm not even a kid, like he was probably around 20, 21. This is upstate New York. I'm like, yeah, I'm from the Bronx. He starts talking to me about K Flock and shit. I'm like, nigga, I don't give
I'm
a
a
fuck about
civilian.
them niggas. He's talking to me about like the drill scene, and like you could tell like he's a fanatic, mind you, white boy upstate. You could tell like he's a fanatic. He's like, yo, them boys is demons out there, and I'm like, bro, I don't know them niggas. Like,
I don't
I'm
know.
like, I don't know why you. I'm like, bro, and I
I'm a
literally tell, I'm like,
law-abiding
bro,
citizen.
I'm a law-abiding citizen, nigga. I will never sit here and be like I'm on some gang shit. I went to college. I am educated, nigga. What are you talking about? Like, and the thing was, and he's like, I'm like, bro, you gotta understand. Majority of people who live in a hood, they ain't on no gang shit. It's the cheapest place to fucking live in. It's not on some nigga. It's not like my mom is waking up on some throwing GD or Crip. What the fuck? She getting up, going to work. Majority of niggas is going about their day. It's only a small percent of population that be on that gang shit, and that's the
You know
most.
what's
That's the most shit that has the most views on.
you know what's funny? So like you guys know, I went to high school in Williamsburg, and like there's one kid I knew. He was like Bengali too. He lives in Queens, and he was like talking about oh, like, would you go to 125th and Lex? And like, he was telling this other kid, he was like, oh, would you go to 125th and Lex and yell the N word? Right? I'm like here thinking, like, if you actually did that shit, no one's actually gonna do shit at 125th and Lex. Like, like they have a version of the world in their head that
Yes.
really doesn't exist.
Bro, like it'd be so funny
It all
because
stems
it's like,
from the news as well, though.
yeah,
Like,
that should be so funny because it's like in New York City, bro. It's like, would let anybody say the N word? I didn't know, bro. What's it called? When I came up here, some Puerto Rican kid said it. Them niggas was on his ass. They like, why are you letting him say it? I'm like, bro, I don't give a fuck. I care, but I don't because it's like there are a lot of Puerto Ricans who are black too, and it's like I'm like, bro, what? I don't care. I'm like, look at him. He's like, nah, he not black. He Puerto Rican. I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, you guys
I
educate
know
yourself.
black, I Dominican.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, do you guys educate yourself? There are European passing Puerto Ricans, and there are Puerto Ricans who are as black as me. You wouldn't know they're Puerto Rican until they start speaking Spanish or they tell you that shit. And I'm like, do you know? I'm like, there are black Brazilians, there are black Colombians, Afro descendant things. So it's not just on some, you're not here, you can't do this. And I'm like, but like, no, it's just one of those things of different environments, you know?
And then I think one of you guys brought up the point of like being like having this idea that just because someone is associated with a religion, they're quote unquote identified as a good person, right? And this question got brought up to me like a
worst
while
fucking people are the most religious people. Oh my fucking
Mhm.
god.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
This question,
oh my god.
this question, I got in an argument with a friend of mine like a couple of months ago where we were going back and forth about a situation. Like the situation was not relevant, but then like missed argument, she was like you do all this, you are not a good person. And I was like, time out. When have I ever came up here and said out of the comfort of my mouth that I believe I am a good person? Right? So the question I have for you three is like, if somebody was to ask you that, do you believe you're a good person?
I believe I don't care about being a good person.
Ooh.
Like there's a difference
I believe
between
I live in my world, and
Yep.
I do my best.
Yeah.
I don't care about being a good person. Because it's like I feel like good could be something that's within
It's
your
subjective.
own box of like thing. Like for example, there's a lot of people, for example, who don't believe in violence. And I feel like a lot this time our times is getting crazier. Did I tell you guys this? I never told you guys this. My car got broken into 2-3 months ago.
Oh, I
And
think you do.
yeah, my car got broken into 2-3 months ago. So what happened was probably 2 days later, This nigga had on my fucking jersey. The nigga who stole from me. I'm just driving. Mind you, I had like a black tar on the window, basically just to cover it so that air can't think. I'm driving. And I'm driving, mind you, I'm a block away from my crib. I look to my right. This nigga got on my fucking jersey. I'm like, what the fuck? At first, I just heard a voice that said, bro, let it go. And then I was like, nah, fuck that. I can't. So I drove home. I got my neighbor. My neighbor whooped that nigga ass. Whooped that nigga ass, bro. And then just stripped him. And then took his money too.
Wait, is it the jersey I gave you?
No. It's a different jersey. What's it called? It's a different jersey. It's a jersey with my name on it. That's how I knew it was mine.
Is it the Senegal one?
No. It was what's it called? I played in an indoor league, and then the team basically we decided to get our own jerseys. Mind you, if I
that shit's customized.
customized with Ebra in the back.
And strip him naked. It's crazy.
Yes, nigga, bro, with Ebra in the back. And
Wait, why did you get your neighbor?
What?
Why did you get your neighbor?
Because I didn't want to put the hands on him. I was like, listen, I enjoyed watching it. I literally, as my neighbor, I picked up my neighbor. He got in my car and we drove. And then I was like, listen. And when that nigga got out the car, I slowly got out like a mob boss, sat on top of the hood. Watch that nigga just beat his ass. Just ass beating like he stole something. Literally. And then after he was done, he said he was like, yo, he's like, here's the money for his jersey, bro. I was like, nah, you could keep that, bro. And literally, we just dapped each other up.
My shirt.
And then we literally just what's it called? Because he broke into my neighbor's car too. So we just yes, that's why.
Yeah, that's what happens. Like once they break into one car, a lot of cars down the line.
Yeah, bro. We just dapped each other up ever since then, bro. Like mind you, before that, we never talked to each other. We just walk past each other. Now I see him, I be like, "What's up, bro?" Yeah, bro. Like every time we see,
I spotted our target.
yeah. I was like, yo, I found him. Get in, let's go. And then tell me why. So I told one of my other friends, because I was like, yo, can I get a jersey ordered? And one of the other friends on my team, I told her what happened. Because I wasn't going to tell the story to nobody. Because at the end of the day, certain things, I just don't want to tell people. I'm like, it happened. This is for me. Like, I like personally. And then she goes ahead and tell the whole group chat about them. Mind you, it's all white folks. She tells them this shit. And then they're like, yeah, but should. And then mind you, there's a couple of them were like, but you're a fucked up individual for that. I was like, wait a minute.
Thank you.
I get my stuff stolen, broken into. This guy caused me $3,000 worth of damage on my car. I don't care about the money portion. I didn't give a fuck about the car. It was the fact that you're wearing my fucking jersey a block away from where I live.
That is crazy. How are you gonna shit where you eat, bro?
Like, that's the shit that got me mad. Like, listen, when I walked up to my car,
I can let go. It's the disrespect.
It's the disrespect.
That nigga calling you pussy.
Yes, you're calling me pussy. That's where I'm like, I can't let this shit slide, bro. I'm like even when I came out and I see my car broke, I laughed. It was funny. Like I wasn't even
funny to me.
I wasn't even mad about it because I'm like, bro, who cares? Like shit happens. Like it's the hood at the end of the day. It's the fact that you got on my fucking jersey a block away from where I live. I couldn't let that slide. That's the shit that got me mad. She was like, Ibra, you're a fucked up individual. I'm like, wait. I'm the one with the issues because I beat the nigga that stole from me and broke into my car. Does that fucking make sense to you? And we live in a time where people actually say something back to you for retaliating. Like, be the bigger person. Oh, don't say that. I will, if you attack me, best believe you better get somebody to protect you because I'm not letting it go. I will never be the bigger person. Don't ever expect that behavior from me because all I see it as I'm setting the tone of how I want this person to treat me. This person a lot of people, if they think they can treat you like a bitch, it will treat you like a bitch. And it's like, oh, be the bigger person. Why? Because that's what good people do. Then I'm not a good person.
So why couldn't they be a good person?
Why didn't they just stop? Well, that's just who they are. You can choose to do better.
Well, this is how I am.
Well, this is how I am. This is how I'm choosing to go about
That's
it.
what I realized is that like this idea.
Okay, Ibra, here's the thing. Can you agree on the fact, on like morally speaking,
I'll tell you what he doesn't.
right?
I'll tell you what he doesn't.
I mean, we already know the answer, but ask it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, like, can you at least acknowledge the fact that whether your decision is your decision? I'm not gonna judge that, but like, if you think about it, like morally speaking,
Oh yeah, go ahead.
like
Morally speaking, I'm wrong to beat a nigga ass that stole from me. Are you hearing yourself? This is
No.
the time, but like this is like shaky. This is
No.
a perfect. This
No.
is the time that we live in.
no, Ibra, I agree with you. I also support beating his ass, right? I fully support your decision,
Okay,
but I
yeah.
can also admit that if I'm truly a moral person, it's the wrong decision.
But
I'm
that's the
not
thing,
claiming to
And
be
that's what
the
I'm
moral
saying.
person.
And that's what I'm saying.
who
I'm
makes
saying
these
I don't care
decisions
about
to be
being a
able
good
to
person.
swap, like,
I don't care about being a morally good person.
Because think
Because
about it.
certain things I need to do bad to do good.
That's not true. It's not like you don't care
Yes, you
about.
do. Yes, you
have,
do. I'm
no,
sorry.
no.
Shakir, think about it. Think about it. If, God forbid, let's say you were going out. God forbid, let's say you get older, your sister gets in a relationship. She says her husband puts her hands on you. Morally speaking, are you gonna beat that nigga
Of course.
ass?
Of
Then,
course.
then you're not a morally good person.
Morally speaking, I know this nigga's gonna call the three of us like, yeah, you're the strongest niggas out there.
Yeah, exactly. Morally speaking, from your standpoint, you can't really do anything because that's morally wrong to hit a person. I've told my sister this. I'm like, listen, I would never get involved in your relationships. But if a man hits you, first I'm gonna smack you. If he hit you once and then you stay, first I'm gonna smack you, then I'm gonna beat his ass. I'm not a believer of, because I believe you need to do the wrong things for the right reasons sometimes.
I would say though, in a situation like that, what would basically make me just give up on you is if you tell me to stop.
Yes. But Shakir, continue. Go ahead. Shakir, please. I want to hear what you say.
Here's the thing though, like I fully support that, but I can also admit that morally is wrong.
Oh
right?
no, yes,
You get
morally it's wrong.
No,
but
not.
I just don't
Yes.
care.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I feel like
Because it
certain
feels
moral
right to me.
codes doesn't make no sense. You're telling me I'm morally wrong for beating a nigga ass for stealing from me or hitting me.
Okay.
That's a gray area.
There is no gray area. That's what I'm saying.
They're not. I'm not saying there's a gray area, but since we're talking about religion today, and like, I want to bring up the topic about where do you think morals stem from? Like, because a lot of religious people, the reason they justify God is like, oh, without God, we wouldn't have any morals, right?
Absolutely.
But I personally disagree with that. I don't agree that without God we wouldn't have morals, because I think like societally we develop morals.
Mm-hmm.
But here's my thing to people that say that, oh, like without God we wouldn't have morals, right? If that is your standpoint, then how can you justify if God set a set of morals, right? And you are against them, like you are against a moral that he said, how do you like justify your actions at that point? Because for example, like in Christian faith, it would be to turn the other cheek. Right?
Yeah, like what he said.
And you're claiming that morals come from God. I'm not saying morals come from God.
Person to turn this shit.
I mean,
technically,
you said
I'm in the gray area. But even then, here's the thing. You are, listen, the moral righteousness don't make no sense. There's no way God put strong men on this earth just to be like turn the other cheek. And I refuse to believe that. There's no fucking way. You're telling me, listen, the definition of a strong man who defends his family, meaning he defends what he loves and what he cares for.
Okay.
If I'm a father, like a God-fearing man, a God-fearing Christian father, and something happens to my daughter, best believe I'm going to get my lick back for her. There is no turning the other cheek. The other cheek.
No, first of all, like from my understanding, God defends, like defending yourself. Right? That's not like you don't gotta be a bitch and just take everything. Like no religion's telling you to do that shit.
Thank you.
But you didn't defend yourself in this case. You were fine. You saw him and went to go get him.
And I stand by what I did.
No. Facts. You were at peace knowing it was gone, and then you saw him. You relinquished that peace to go cause violence.
Yes,
because every time I think you came there more funny.
And the thing is, I agree with you that you should beat his ass up. But I can also say, like, I think humanity would have morals if there's God or if there isn't God.
I feel like humanity. Honestly, if you be like, if it was not God, I won't have no morals. You're just a bad person because God with or without God in the sense,
yes.
you should have morals. Like I wouldn't treat a prostitute any differently because they're a prostitute. Like I wouldn't be like, oh, ew, you're a scum of the earth and stuff like that because that's not what God wants in a sense. You know what I mean? Jesus was talking to prostitutes. Who are you to get up in judgment? But at the same time, like I said, morally wrong or right. That's why I said Shakir from the jump. That's why I said I don't care about being a good person because I feel like you need to do the wrong things for the right reasons. That's why I believe I condone violence.
And
that's
also,
what I was saying, that I'm not.
It's subjective.
Yeah, it's subjective to whoever. And for me, I care about the people I know I care about the people who I know care about me and know I care about them. If what I'm doing, like, for example, if something like, because I remember when the conversation was like, and I was like, I've never said I'm a good person. I do right by the people who I know care about me, and I do right by the people who I know give a fuck about me. Outside of those barriers, I will do what's right for me. Outside of those, it's what's
I
right.
think a part of it you have to add is that I don't have like I don't actively do bad on other people.
Yeah,
Like
like I don't
it's
go
not
out of
like
my way
I'm
to do.
going about
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
starting my day
yeah,
thinking
that.
how I'm
Like,
gonna ruin someone
yeah,
else's
that's what I'm
day.
saying. It's like one thing about me
That's
is like
that's a good. Yeah.
I will never. That's what my mom told me. I will never start. I will never go out on my way and start something. But if you do some shit against me, I find out, you can't blame me for how I decide to take it afterwards. That necessarily does not make me. It doesn't make me a bad person. It makes me a good person. Just makes me a nigga with emotions. And I
See,
told her that, she's looking at me like, yeah, no, like you're a terrible person. I was like, I can line up 15 individuals right now who sit here and tell you a bunch of different stories about what I did, how I was wrong, and that. I could also line up a bunch of people who have talked about all the good things that I've done. Who are we believing?
Here's the thing. But here's the thing. That's what I say. A lot of it comes down to
I mean,
perspective. Because there are people I've met people who I've like out. They were like, oh, I was like, honestly, I was like, if I have a crib and somebody's robbing me, they're getting shot. They looked at me. They saying,
no,
that's
that's self defense. That's self
I'm
defense.
like,
some
and she
people don't
was
see it like that though.
like, I wouldn't.
So
Or they
Bro,
see it as you attacking the person
no,
invading your space.
I don't
which
believe
is
in that.
which is so fucking stupid.
That makes no sense to me. Shoot
I'm
that
like,
nigga.
bro, I'm like, people are stupid. So majority of the times, I'm really not listening to you because they're like, you would have the ability to shoot a person. I'm like, you are in my house you uninvited. You're getting shot. You will meet the Lord. Tell him I said hello. What? Are you fucking drunk?
So I
Hell
guess
no.
my next follow up question is like to you, like what, like I get, like, we're developing, like we're young men. What to you? What does if we were to say what does a good man look like in your eyes? What does that look like? What is your definition of it? And I don't want like an answer, but to you, what is a good man to you? Like whatever answer you want to give.
You
I don't
talking to me?
know.
Like it's an
I
open
don't
ended
know.
question to anybody. Like what does it mean in this day and age, or at least at our current stage, because we're all in the same ballpark? What does it mean to be a good man?
No.
I guess
I
I,
still feel like
I
Billy has
I
talked to
don't
me.
know,
Honest
but I
with you.
would say like just someone that doesn't go out seeking to do harm to other people.
Facts, yeah.
That's
I feel
that's
like
all that
honestly,
is because
if you're doing that, you're a good person to me, bro. That's the
Mhm.
bar. I feel like that alone, just think, because I feel like there's certain things that's happening. To be honest with you, that is just like if somebody was, God forbid, somebody's getting raped and you want to, and then they kill the person that raped them while in the moment, you want to sit down here and judge them for it? Like, what the fuck? Are you
no,
kidding me?
the court system will literally try
Yeah,
to
try
arrest
to
you for
fuck.
murder,
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Yeah.
Eh,
I
leave
also
it up to the judges.
I
But
also
like,
strongly
yeah,
believe like the concept of like what a good person is like, it's always going to be dependent on the person. And what I don't like, but what I've also noticed is that I've met people who try to go out of their way to fit the societal standards of what a good person should be. And usually it's synonymous to some of the most miserable people I've met in my lifetime, personally. Where
oh
it's
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
yeah, you tried so hard to be a good person. You go out of your way to do all these things and impress other people. That's basically what being like this idea of being a good person is. Like every time something happens to you, your initial thought is, what can I do to make myself look like a good person? And it turns out with people being able to walk all over you. That's one. Turns out people like treating you anyhow because at the end of the day, it's like what? If I smack you, you're just gonna sit there and laugh at me, shake your head, and turn the other cheek. So it's like I'm gonna do it. So it's a good.
Okay, here's the thing. To a certain degree, right? Most people cannot do that shit, right? And I
Which is
do believe that there's very little amount of truly good people in the world. I feel like people throw away like that shit too easily. Like I don't think a lot of things people do that they think is like good actually is good. Like I don't think most people are truly good. They have their own set of morals that they go by, and for the most part, they are a net positive to the world, right? But I feel like true goodness, it's almost to it has to be
open
to a selfless
baby,
level. Yeah, it
yeah,
has to be almost a
instinct.
selfless, instinctual level where it's not like reactionary. Like that's why I feel like there's very little people that are truly good.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, your circumstances, the way you were raised, and the situations you've been in shape how you perceive good, you know, and good and bad, and right and wrong. So yeah, society's telling you don't do this, don't do that. To you, some fucked up shit happened where the ball shifted a little. And it's like, this is acceptable, you know,
Yeah, good,
like
true, good and bad. I don't think it exists. Like it's a great thing. It's a spectrum, for sure.
we all just floating through life trying to be our best self.
that's what I
Some
always
better
say.
than others,
I
but
in this lifetime, you will never hear me get up and go to another person and be like, I'm a good person or I'm a
never.
bad person. I try my best. Sometimes I fail. Sometimes I learn. Sometimes and life just keeps on pushing.
I do my best not to do wrong to you.
Yes.
That's
I'm just
all I
me.
could give. I can't
I'm
tell
just
you
me, bro.
I can't tell you I'm a good person. And I know for sure I can't tell you I'm a bad person. Nobody wants to say they're a bad person, but to someone in my past, they could say I'm a bad person. You know, like at the end of the day, I did my best to not do wrong to you. And if that, whatever you do, someone could take it wrong, someone could take it right. It is what it is. And if I actually think it's wrong, I'll apologize. And other times, I just look at you like, what are you talking about? That makes no sense. Like, you stole my food, I smack you with a spoon, or I bite you. I don't see
Bite.
wrong in that. Yeah, I was a menace when I was a kid. Good time. Yeah,
You do
I
look like
grow
you
mature.
bite. You do look like you used to
I
bite a
did
lot.
fight a lot. Like niggas used to punch my head to get me off them, bro. Like it was bad. It was bad. Like
Like I agree.
like
I
my
basically
grandfather had to whoop my ass. That's when I knew I was losing my mind, bro.
I'm I'm
I
like
was
a
a vengeful person when I was younger.
and
Oh
I
my
was I think one of you guys brought it up where it's like I don't think, and I think not any four of us is like we go out meaning to like do harm or like fuck over other people. My thing is once it's I always say this like every person or every relationship I've ever had, there's a line, right? And me personally, I'll never walk that line first because I don't believe that we should ever have to get there. But if you have the audacity to cross that line, I'm taking the line. The line is out the window at that point. And at that point, it's gonna be a tussle of like who really can drag this shit out. So
I mean, I don't agree with you. Well, I mean, that's you. I'm different. Like,
okay,
there's a line that I wouldn't cross. And if you cross the line, I'll weigh my options. Right?
Yeah.
I'll just look, hey, will I get the satisfaction or would I feel something doing this, or
Exactly.
is this gonna cause me more hassle than it's worth? That's how I weigh my things. You know,
I
like certain situations, I'm just like, bro, I'm gonna spend a lot of time planning and doing this. Or I could just go about my day. And I weigh my options. I pick and choose. More times than not, I lean towards revenge.
sometimes going
But
about
I've been getting better
I've also been getting better,
with
I
but
myself.
sometimes going up on my
I
day ain't enough. I have to wipe that
I
smile off your face.
No,
You
yeah, I
can't
mean, if
get
it's
I
run up
sitting
on
on
think
my
me
mind and
and
bothering
be
me, yes,
and
I'm
be
gonna
clicking
sit
your
and
I
think
heels
that
thinking you
hunger
got
in my
this,
head.
man. What do I look like?
I think
But yeah,
like you should never make a decision angry.
Nigga, we know
yeah,
this. But it's
Yeah.
weigh my
easier.
options.
It's but the thing is, the reason I hate these kind of advices, it's easier said than done. Like
Of
now,
course.
yeah, now I'm like,
The simplest
But it
advice
has
are
to be
like the
said for you
hardest
to
to do.
be
like
like make it
I
aware.
I think now, like at this very age, I'm very good at like keep my anger at. I'm like it's very hard to get me angry now, or like genuinely angry to
Yeah.
the point to act out. But when I was a kid, like high school, even college, sometimes if you do something wrong and it visibly upsets me, all I see is red. Like I don't hear reason. In my head and all the voices in there, we want to get you back, and we need to do it in the most savage way possible. Like that's all I
Bro,
hear. So it's
you
like,
know
what's
you
up?
know
Yes,
this
the ghost of Kim Vaughn behind his ear, like, yo, you gonna let that slide, nigga?
you,
Like literally,
you
What?
know what this reminded me? I remember in 8th grade we had like a trip to like Central Park, right? And we made like teams for like having a water gun fight. And I was kind of the mold that went into Quadro's team to like act like I'm on his team while I was actually on the other team. And I remember in Central Park
No,
when
that's
he, when he realized that I betrayed him, this motherfucker came and picked me up like on some you know that shit that
when was
like
this?
bro the shit that like Bane did to Batman where he picked him up and broke his back type shit. Like he basically did that shit to my neck because at that moment he's like all he saw is fucking red.
you fucking
Like,
right there.
like I don't remember me doing that, but
That sounds funny as
I can
fuck.
see why I would do that. Because why would
Nah.
you feel the need to infiltrate my team if he wasn't with us to begin with? Why would you like see moments there are certain times I hear about shit that I used to do, and my thought process now is like I really want to go back to my old self and like pause time for a little bit and really just understand why it is I felt the need to do what it is I just did. But I'm sorry,
Nigga
broski.
said,
That
I was Batman, you were a common thug. I'm
I'm
about to
sorry,
break this
broski.
line.
I
That's
don't
crazy.
remember that happening, but that does sound like some shit my younger self would do. And I'm sorry, you didn't deserve that, bro. Over a water gun fight too, damn. You ain't even. I let niggas take my bitch for less. But without without any further ado, I feel like it's been an enlightened episode. You know, I always enjoy conversation with my brothers. What do you call it? Oh, we had one of our one person who watches this podcast and always gives me feedback on it. Texted me. What did she say? Let me read it because I feel like I
Jasmine?
We don't have a Jasmine that watches this episode.
Someone with a J texted you last time. You sent it to the group chat.
I did no such thing.
Yeah, you did. I was like, who is this? It was
Her
J
name was
something.
L'Oreal.
L'Oreal. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think
J or L. I don't know what the fuck it was. But someone
it was
texted and
L'Oreal, and she was like, she
you
said
were
she
like,
loved,
yo, is this what
she
you're
said
really
she loved the
doing?
therapy session, and she said, I need to make sure that my next relationship with my wife, I communicate and that there's no excuses. So I'm glad somebody, she watches it religiously, so shout out to her. But
Is it someone that you know?
yeah, I know personally.
How would they text?
That's a W. Somebody I know actually sit down and watch the whole hour of this. I'm proud. But without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let us know your takes on some of the things that we've said with religion, and stuff like that. Usually, like every once in a while, we'll get somebody else's think piece on the things that we say, and it's like really enlightening. We got one the other day. Somebody actually random Shakir like took a whole time to like give a paragraph on something we said. It was actually something Quasi did, but we'll talk about it later.
Was
But
it
without
a
further-
hate comment or like
no,
positive?
without any further. Well, I'll talk about it after. But without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it's been your boys over at the O2 Podcast. We hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. Make sure to like,
Peace.
comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.